Good morning and welcome to Maximo Bite Size, a podcast on the functionality of Maximo Manage. Today is the fourth episode in the series on asset management, and we will be discussing location and asset meters. Meters can be applied to both locations and assets, and they operate in almost the same manner. We will discuss asset meters and highlight any differences. Asset meters can be created directly from the Meters tab using the New Row button, by adding a meter group, or by referencing a rotating item which has an associated meter group. When a meter group is referenced, this copies the associated meters. Location meters can be created in the same three ways. Incidentally, if a location or asset references a meter group, a new meter can be added to the location or asset. If a new meter is to be added to all locations or assets that reference a meter group, then this can be achieved by updating the meter group record. There is, however, a fourth method available for assets, and that is the creation of an asset from an asset template, or the addition of a new meter to an asset template that is referenced on one or more assets. When the asset is generated from the asset template, the meters are copied. When an asset is updated from an asset template, the missing meters are also copied. A remark can be entered for each asset or location meter. The Enter Meter Readings action is used to enter meter readings for all three meter types. There is an active checkbox on the asset meter, and meter readings can only be entered for active asset meters. When entering a meter reading, you enter a value in the new reading field. The select value is only used for characteristic type meters. The new reading date is defaulted to date time now and the inspector to the logged in user. The previous meter reading and reading date is shown alongside the new reading and reading date. For continuous meters, the delta checkbox indicates whether the value you are entering should be a delta value or an actual value, but you may overwrite the method for a meter reading. Reading values and the date time for gauge and characteristic type meters are also copied to create measurement records that you can see in the condition monitoring application. This might generate a work order if the measurement exceeds the action limits or corresponds with an observation value that references a job plan or PM. The link between asset or location meters and the condition monitoring points is handled by Maximo when a condition monitoring point is created. The reference can be seen in the point field on the asset meter. The Manage Meter Reading History action can be used for modifying a previous reading on a continuous meter. A reason can be given when making the change. While there is a tab for characteristic and gauge meter readings, these records are read-only. You cannot modify historical values. However, the condition monitoring application does allow modification to old measurements or observation values, but not the date time at which the measurement or observation was made. For continuous meters types on asset meters, you can define whether a meter reading is rolled down from a parent asset or location, or whether no roll down occurs. Except roll down from should be set to none. The meter reading record records from which location or asset the meter reading came from. This can help with traceability. There is no roll down of meter readings between locations in the location hierarchy. Another difference with assets over location meters is that the meter reading can be incremented from the quantity issued of an item. This feature used to be called meter material usage, but that was a long time ago. It occurs when an item in the item master application references a meter and the same meter name exists on an asset. For example, if you issue 10 litres of oil to an asset, and the non-rotating item has a meter, and that meter also exists on the asset, then the issued quantity is added to the asset meter of the same name. For continuous meter types, a rollover value should be given if relevant. You cannot enter an actual meter reading which is less than the current meter reading unless you can check the rollover field, and this will be read-only if there is no rollover value. You cannot enter negative meter readings for continuous meters. You can, however, for meters of type gauge. For example, temperature can be negative. Meter readings can also be entered on a work order through an action for either the primary location or asset, or from the details menu when the location or asset is referenced in the multiple assets, locations and CIs table. A meter reading cannot be entered from the details menu on a location or asset referenced on a task or child work order. However, a measurement for a gauge type meter can be entered on a task. The Reset Replace Meters action will be found on both the Assets and Locations application. It is only used with continuous type meters. A meter may be physically replaced and its last meter reading may be lower than the current meter reading. This action is where you can change the last reading value, reset the average units per day, or set a rollover amount. The action should not be given to all users that can enter meter readings. There are 4 other values that are incremented with the delta value when you enter a meter reading. They all start with the prefix since last repair, since last overhaul, since last inspection, and since install. These fields can provide useful information that would otherwise be more difficult to find navigating through historical work orders. The Reset Replace Meters action allows you to also reset one or more of these fields. When you complete a work order, you can automatically reset the since last repair, since last overhaul, or since last inspection values based on the work type of the work order. In the Organizations application and Work Type action, there is a field called Type with a set of values, repair, overhaul, inspection, or none. When an inspection work order completes, you can reset to 0 the since last inspection value by setting the work order's work type field to inspection. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I look forward to seeing you back on the next episode when we will be reviewing asset templates. The music is called Busy City from the talented group called Track Tribe. Please check them out on tracktribe.com, all one word. Until another time, goodbye.